The following is intended only for mature audiences.
Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan. You can answer it, Timmy.
No, I don't want to do that. You have to say it.
Okay, I'm fine. I'm number one fan, Tim. Fuck.
Saw an article the other day. It made a lot of sense to me. Kevin O'Leary, who's one of the sharks on Shark Tank, said, "Stop sending everybody free money." And I'm like, go on. This must be about stimulus checks.
Yeah.
So I'll read it to you. President Biden has proposed sending $1,400 checks to every eligible American as part of his massive $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package. Shark Tank investor and chairman of O-Shares ETF, Kevin O'Leary, told Yahoo Finance Live that that's not the best use of taxpayer money because we're, quote, just sending everybody free money from a helicopter. That's not a great idea.
Didn't Biden promise $2,000 checks?
Total. The $600 that they offered us already, plus this other $1,400 to make it $2,000.
Oh, is that the story?
Yeah.
Okay, because when he was campaigning, he said, I'll send everybody $2,000 checks just as soon as I'm inaugurated.
But he didn't count on them sending the $600 ones. So he's still making good on that via what Trump already sent. Keep in mind, Trump wanted $2,000 checks also.
He did, yes.
And they said no.
Yeah, so it only makes sense that they would say no to Biden, too. At least if they want to be responsible.
The Republicans also wanted to not give this $1,400, but O'Leary said that the government should only send checks to the unemployed and pour money into ramping up vaccine distribution. So that counts twofold towards not just giving everybody free money, and it has another purpose, putting the money you would give them into vaccine distribution to get the pandemic over faster, hopefully. And he says, I don't know why we're sending checks to people that are already employed. That makes no sense to me. The deal should be this. If you are displaced by the pandemic, we will send you a check because you are unemployed. I would say, though, that that's a slippery slope because there's many people that are, air quotes, unemployed because they're not working so much because they're getting more on unemployment to sit on their ass. It's a fucking game right now. And the fraud departments probably cannot keep up with all the inundation of reports they're receiving.
Yeah, see, and that's an area where I'm on the fence. It's like, I enjoy getting the money, but I have not been affected financially from any of this other than I've been able to pay a few things off. So as much as I want the check, just for my own personal benefit, I'm also want to be responsible with what little money this country has and say there's better things we can do with it for people who haven't been financially hurt by this. But I would also be against giving it to people who are already getting unemployment. People that are definitely screwed should get something. I don't think $1,400 is enough, but I mean, yeah, where do you draw the line?
Well, he says that the U.S. is in danger of putting too much stimulus into the economy and risking, quote, horrific inflation.
I think we already have that.
But O'Leary now, and I'm going to trust this guy because he's very fucking smart with money, or he wouldn't be on Shark Tank and he wouldn't be the head of companies. But he's not a fan of industry bailouts either, including the beaten up airlines. And this isn't related to the stimulus checks, but I think it bears mention. We have too many airlines in terms of capacity because business spending will be down somewhere between 20 and 25% for years to come. So just give unemployment checks to the employees. They're highly trained. They'll find new jobs in the digital economy. Airlines are very good at going bankrupt. They do it every 10 years. So it's just fine. Stop spending money there.
No, I agree with that. If there's one thing that all politicians need to do, and I mean all of them, is think really hard about where we're spending money that we have and where we're spending money that we don't have. I mean, how do you feel that, we're taxing ourselves into oblivion, we're creating inflation, there's thousands of veterans that don't have a home, but yet we're sending billions of dollars out to other countries to support them.
Oh, yeah, that pisses me off to no end.
I can't stand it. It just pisses me off. Yeah. If you have that much money to send to other countries, you're obviously taxing us too much. Or you're just being stupid with the money. Keep that money here. Give the homeless veterans a home. Take care of the poor.
But you can't do that because then the countries would say, what are you doing to us? Instead of saying, thanks for your help so far. That's why you don't feed a stray cat, because they keep coming back for more.
Yeah. Now we set this precedent where we have to constantly give money to other countries or they can't survive. Tough shit. It's survival of the fittest, or in this case, the wisest with their money. If you can't support your own country because of your shitty policies, then you deserve to go belly up.
That is true, in my opinion also.
But that includes this country.
He relates that and the airline analogy to the current struggling restaurant industry, where 4 million jobs have been lost during the pandemic. And this hits close to home for me because my wife works sometimes at a restaurant 1 or 2 days a week just for pocket money. That's where she makes the easiest cash. But
the beast
also has been, air quotes, out of work for months because of the pandemic. Sitting on her ass, cashing those fat fucking unemployment checks she doesn't goddamn deserve. But O'Leary states that I'd like to take care of everybody that works in the restaurant industry that's unemployed. But I do not want to bail out every restaurant owner. I'm sorry, but a better way to spend on restaurants would be to spend more money on the logistics of getting the vaccine out, because I can guarantee you, when people feel safe again, they'll go to restaurants. It's an industry that bounces back very, very quickly. He has a number of restaurants in his portfolio of businesses, so he understands this from a personal standpoint. And many of them that are going bankrupt, he states the ones that are going to survive will be the ones that should come back because they're still relevant.
See, and that's where I kind of disagree. I got to back the thought up. I think people would still go to restaurants, virus or no virus, whether there's a vaccine or not, as long if the restaurants just weren't closed. Would they go as frequently? No, but I think at least everybody would try to go out maybe once a week. Maybe try to go during off-peak hours.
Full capacity. They could run at full capacity again, and they could hire back a number of people again. That's the reason that a place like Hell's Kitchen down in Minneapolis has so many goddamn employees, because that place is crazy busy all the time. Now, I haven't been there since March of last year, before any of the shutdowns, but when I was there was during the state social worker conference, and we were watching on the third day of the conference. We were eating at the actual hotel where the conference took place. We were in their bar having lunch, and we're up there. And that was the day that the NBA decided to stop play for the season because Rudy Gobert got fucking COVID from licking microphones and touching stuff.
Well, you lick a microphone, you're going to pick something up.
Well, that was the first fucking domino that fell in the closures, though, was the NBA with his situation. Then the NHL did it. Then everybody else was like, whoa, we should stop concerts, and we should stop elective surgeries, and we should stop all this shit. So I was sitting in restaurants for 3 days straight for lunch. Well, everything was about to flip a switch and turn the tide completely. That's the last time I ate out in a restaurant. Except for this summer, we went one time and ate outside at a diner on a country road going towards Stillwater. Fast food doesn't count.
I'm not counting fast food.
Sitting
I'm counting sit down in restaurants. Since everything's shut down, I'm coming up with 4. Twice at a bar in somewhere. Between, a bar up north. Really good chicken. I have to be honest. Really good chicken.
I'm sure they'll appreciate you being able to say how good their chicken is, but not name drop them.
Okay. The Brass Rail.
Okay, so
off of Trunk Highway 65.
There you go.
Awesome fucking chicken. Okay? Not that shit you get at Raising Cane's, and I've never been to Chick-fil-A, so. And we went to Kyoto over at Riverdale.
Uh-huh.
Went there once. Awesome. That's why I'm struggling with the 4th, because I thought I went to Cafe Stuga, but I don't. No, I did go to Cafe Stuga once this summer.
Right on.
Now, is that as often as I go to restaurants? No, it's been severely cut back.
But I'm saying between like March and probably August or September, because there was no snow and it wasn't cold yet. We were still wearing shorts and shit. But
I went to A&W like twice. Sat outside.
Think of how much I haven't been going, and I've been getting that stimulus money. And you know what I've done with it? Fuck all. I've thrown it in the bank. I spent very little of it. There's a few things that I was like, well, I got that stimulus money, so it doesn't matter that a cable broke on my fucking workout station. I'll order a new one for $100. Or, the fucking hard drive on my laptop took a shit, so I'll spend $200 and some on getting a new one. I didn't care about that because you gave me money. Now, if it was my own money, I would have bought a new laptop because I would have been to maximize that. Now I'm just using this new hard drive, hoping to stretch the life of this device out even further. And ironically, a month after that happened, I developed these dead pixels on the screen that I tried to fix, and now they're spreading.
How old is this laptop?
5 years?
That's it?
6 maybe?
Mine's like 10. I'm due for a new computer.
Well, either way, like if you wanted to buy, like you were saying,
I bought a 4-wheeler with our stimulus money.
there you go.
She wanted to have some fun. I needed to get her a birthday gift, so 4-wheeler.
Yeah, most people probably would have bought flowers and an expensive day at a spa, or maybe a new dildo.
Not me. Nothing but the best for my girl.
Yeah, ATVs. That's
What she wanted, and it's blue, my favorite color.
Oh,
But she gets it.
you should have just bought her a remote control ATV and then laughed your ass off.
She has a remote control car.
But is it a remote control ATV?
No, I don't even know if they make them.
Ah, yeah, they do.
Well, not good ones.
So overall, the thought process behind what he's saying, how we should stop giving free money to everyone.
I agree with that. Like, I mean, as much as I'd love another check, I don't need it.
And we've said numerous times that I'm no dummy. We both know our grandkids or our great-grandkids are going to pay for this shit.
Yeah, they're gonna get fucked with this.
Not even our kids, our grandkids or the generation after that are going to get royally fucked.
Maybe there'll be some miracle in the next 30 years and politicians will be like, wait a minute. Let's start being responsible.
No, that's not going to happen. Because if they were smart, they'd start pumping more money into fucking Social Security. Not from us, from them, to help balance it out because of all the boomers that need it now and all the millennials that don't have enough money that they're making in their entry-level jobs with all their college loan debt that they want paid off for free.
They got 40 fucking years to earn it. Come on.
You
That's
never
what
fucking
401ks
know.
are for.
Tell that to the post office. All those sweet, sweet healthcare plans for retirees they paid into, and they're bankrupt every other year or on the border of it.
Again, they weren't being smart about how they were doing it. It's like, oh, we're government. We'll give them the best of everything, and it'll go on forever. Well, you keep increasing the size of the party you're trying to feed. You know, you increase the size of the herd you got to feed. Eventually, you're going to run out of food.
No, because you just call Jesus and then loaves and fishes. And he feeds a whole group of fucking people. Thousands.
Is that a Bible
He
story?
feeds thousands of people with but a few loaves and a few fishes. Because miracles, that's why. Jesus. Miracle.
I'd have to say if Jesus was alive, he wouldn't be all America.
He might be.
I don't see it. Because he wasn't even near here. He was, Middle East.
No, Jesus only loves America, Tim. You have to listen to the South.
If we listen to everything the South did, sleeping with your sister would be okay.
My sister's dead, and she was
I'm
handicapped.
not talking
so
about
that's
your
gross on a
sister.
number. Well, I don't want them sleeping with my sister either. She's dead. That's rude. And she's been cooking in that coffin for about 11 years now, so I don't think she's going to...
Oh, why you got to bring it there?
You said sister fucking. I only ever had one sister. It's the only option I had to go to with that.
Oh my God!
I will say that if we're going to give all this money for these people to sit at home and not work and still not have money or benefits that are deserving to our veterans, that's a huge clusterfuck. There's a reason so many people did not make it out of the Great Depression. Because the government was not just like, here's all this shit. And yeah,
They didn't have any money either.
the New Deal kind of helped some things along, but a lot of people fucking died of starvation, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And that's how you weed out some of that population. We just cannot get out of our own way.
we need another
in
big
terms
war.
of Yeah, I don't think that's going to do it.
I think we need another big war.
It's
not like a new war like Iraq and Afghanistan. We need a war like World War fucking II. You need to wipe out just a few million people.
A few million is not going to put that's a drop in a bucket these days.
Okay. If you want to adjust it for inflation, take out 1 billion. We can do that with nuclear weapons, easy.
Yeah, I think
And I mean we as people, not the United States.
You're going to take out more than 1 billion with nuclear weapons because there's the after effects.
Well, good. How many people are on the planet now? 4.5 billion.
It's adorable that Tim thinks there are only 4.5 billion people on Earth. There are actually around 7.6 billion, for fuck's sake.
It's not like they're going to spare just the people that you know and you. Your odds of making it out of that are probably not so great.
If I kick it, I kick it.
We're landlocked, yeah, but all that fucking radiation that comes over and the nuclear winter and all the...
Well, now, all the people that were downwind from Chernobyl when that went up, they're not dead. They weren't suffering. So, I don't think it's as bad as they say it is.
There's mutant dogs because of fucking Chernobyl.
Immediately around Chernobyl, but if you take that dust cloud, that they were picking up radiation signals as far as England from Chernobyl. But do you see a path of destruction and mutants where that cloud went? No.
Well, no, because it wasn't the same size as a nuclear warhead.
Damn near.
No. No.
It didn't explode like one.
It was a meltdown, dude. Radius of effects from Chernobyl. You're so lucky I'm good at Google searches. Significant radiation affected the environment over a much wider scale than the 30-kilometer radius enclosed. According to reports from the Soviet scientists, 28,000 square kilometers, or 10,800 square miles, were contaminated by caesium-137 to levels greater than 185 measurements. I don't know what that means per square meter.
Is that a Russian word there?
It's a KBQ. I don't know. They use a lot of consonants.
KBQ, yeah.
How long until Chernobyl will be safe? 20,000 years.
Oh, yeah. I watched a Big Log documentary about what they're doing over at Chernobyl. They had to cover it with a big dome because it was starting to leak radiation again. And inside are robotic platforms that are slowly taking things apart and moving them so that they can decontaminate them and hopefully make it a clear site. But they're saying that's going to take 100 years to do that.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And the robotics for that they're using for cutting and moving stuff were actually designed here in Minnesota.
Oh, well, it's a nice little connection. So as much as I have said repeatedly that if you get a job in the restaurant industry and then something like the pandemic happens and everything goes tits up, sorry for you. Get another job. Don't sit at home like, well, my restaurant's closed. Then go find another fucking job.
You're sorry. Your restaurant failed through no fault of your own. It's time to move on.
When I couldn't stand being a correctional officer anymore, I got into social work. When I got burned out with the combination of social work and
The beast.
with the CPS case over the summer, I took 3 months off to take care of my kids. Then I found the easiest, highest paying fucking job I could, and that was working security at a hospital. So that's another switch of careers, swinging back towards kind of what I was doing, but still, I found something else to do. I didn't look in the same field.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a restaurant that, went belly up because of COVID, I would take a break for a couple of years, go do something else, and if I was really that good at running a restaurant as I thought I was, it wouldn't be that hard to open up another one and make that just as successful.
Well, half of all restaurants fail, they say.
I think it's more than half.
And then it's up to 75% by the second year.
Yeah, there was something about my mother, because I remember years ago, me and my buddy were talking about opening a pool hall, and my mom's like, "You are aware in the first year 50% of businesses fail." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, and then I think my mom said it was 90% fail after 2 or 3 years, but I mean, my mom doesn't always have the best statistics.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I know the chances of it making were slim, but it was worth a try.
Now, I feel bad for these people, though. I mean, it's not like I'm like, sorry about your damn luck, but you have to learn to adapt. I'm not trying to sound like a total fucking cold-hearted skis about this. You have to adapt.
Yeah.
Now, if you have an apartment and you can't pay your rent and you have the opportunity to move into a house with family, fucking do it. If you have to relocate across the country, you fucking do it. You have to survive. Survival is not about staying where you're at, doing what you've been doing, the same old shit, because the only constant in life is change. You cannot depend upon everything staying the way it was forever. You need to
stubborn.
fucking move on.
Yep. You need to adapt and evolve.
Syria. People are like, Syria's a fucking toilet and we're getting killed by Assad. So we're going to leave and go elsewhere. They adapted. There's no water in Somalia. People are willing to risk their lives to cross deserts into other countries to get the fuck out of Somalia because of famine. You have to do what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if California was at risk, if there was an earthquake that caused part of California to fall off into the ocean, not the whole state, but part of it, and the rest of it was in danger of an aftershock bringing it all into the ocean, how many of those people do you think would immediately go further east? I would think all of them. You'd have to be fucking mental to take your chances.
I think maybe 10% would. Because that many people are like, no, the government will take care of me. They will make this work for me. And that's the problem I have with government. Is government shouldn't be responsible for taking care of us. Their job is to protect us from outside threats. So, yeah, again, it goes right into I don't really need the money. And if I didn't get it, I wouldn't be upset. I'd actually kind of be as happy if I did get it because, hey, at least they're being smart about it this time.
Well, it's just like if there was like a weird climate event that caused an ultra rapid melting of glaciers that rose the sea level. Like the movie Deep Impact, there was that fucking asteroid that hit.
Yeah.
And then the water levels rushed inland and everybody was running away from it.
Yeah.
If that happened, people left New Orleans after Katrina. They didn't fucking come back, a lot of them.
Good, they're smart. You don't want to buy any real estate below sea level.
People left Houston after the floods, and not a lot of them came back.
Same
and
story.
A great many of them had come from New Orleans. So, yeah. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. So I'm with Kevin O'Leary. We need to stop sending stimulus checks. You have to work to survive. You got to figure it out. If you got to go work at Target or Walgreens, if you got to get a job sucking dicks to feed your kids, then you fucking get out there and you suck those dicks like they're the most delicious thing you've ever put in your mouth, just so your kids can have a goddamn sandwich. Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It? That is at What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/ What Do We Call It? Podcast show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
And that's the end.